To what end
I don't know
is
why.
sitting in silence?
I don't know why I would rather sit in silence, but maybe we should just do that. 2 hours.
Just sit and not talk.
Why is
podcast.
camouflage spelled camouflage and not?
Why is any word spelt wrong?
What do you mean?
Because they're all spelt wrong.
Except, and.
Welcome to the podcast
Jesus
that
Christ.
you are currently listening to. I have brain lag. My brain is.
I think you're also lagging.
It's not quite.
I can't
here.
tell. Maybe it's just you. Maybe it's not.
I think it is just me being very not quite here. I think it's for all the shock of the new DLC, Supporter 2.
Hold on. Sorry, stop. Hold on. Hold your horses. We haven't done the taste test yet.
It's not out yet.
As is custom, it's listed as a month from now release. I think that's a bit early to show it, frankly. And it is a bit early because, frankly, I wasn't planning on there being anything to talk about today. Until Tuesday, obviously, that's when they put the premiere up. And I thought, oh, things are happening. But until then, I thought, what the fuck are we going to talk about? I thought, we'll talk about the video competition and we'll go over some viewer comments. We won't need to touch the viewer comments for now, thank God. And obviously we talked about hiring for Hoxies yesterday.
On the stream.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Bless you.
I sneezed.
You sniffed.
Thank you.
You sniffed.
I sneezed all over the place.
Do you know what sniss is? I've actually forgotten the Durban dictionary definition of sniss. I think it's something to do like sneezing and ejaculating at the same time.
Well, it makes sense for sneezing and pissing and making like a mess everywhere.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning and I fucking had a sniss.
I woke up in the morning, took a shit, had breakfast, and got out of bed. That's what I did.
And I took a sniss.
And then
I got out of bed again.
And then I got out of bed. Then I ate. That was after breakfast. That was 11.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we do actually have a lot of things to talk about, but I'm not sure how much we can say for each thing.
No, don't. There's no reason to worry about this not being enough. Just look at the track record. There's no way. We get like a minute in and we can run out of say. Can you imagine?
It's just that, like, especially DLCs, which obviously we'll go through. I did a video on that earlier. Harry's now here. If you watched this video straight after the news video, we're going to be going into that and the actual individual things and whether or not we like them. I think I made my opinions pretty apparent in the video, but some of the other things we'll get into more detail. Harry's thoughts on the stuff we just saw, like mainly the armor stuff is new, and the mug, I guess. Those are like the new things worth talking about that we didn't already kind of know going into it. And then there's the Steam post, which I didn't think to do in the news video. And so we're going to be chopping through that.
Yeah, I think before we touch that at all, because that's the thing that's the thing that has more of a chance to spiral off. But if we talk about DLC, it's mainly going to be about the DLC. Who knows what ridiculous tangents we will go on? But the DLC is where we should start. I'd wager.
Yeah.
So I think it's the biggest thing to come out of this, but I can't say I'm surprised that it is. Supporter 2.
We knew this, right? Like,
We
though
know
that was
it.
like,
Was it in that? Was it in that file? The file name that someone found.
yeah, the file
DLC
name was like
supporter
supporter to
Yeah.
DLC, yeah, and because going into it, I mentioned that I'm pretty sure this was going to be a support too, and then plus we knew there was weapon skins, but we could also see the dwarves standing there like in the background, so you kind of knew that we were getting armor and weapon skins.
There would always be an armor skin. The paint job always universal. In the
I
framework
guess, yeah.
pack, you have the Mega Corp and the Rival Tech armor. It's no surprise there. But yeah, I kind of already. I would have. I was. Yeah, I feel like it would have been very reasonable to expect it to be supporter 2, even if you didn't know. If you'd seen the leaks, but you hadn't seen that leak, because you look at it, I feel like there's not really anything else it can necessarily be. Because as in, I feel like even if it wasn't supporter 2, it would be like spiritually, because of sort of its placement in terms of release being on the 5th anniversary. It's that already marks it as a more significant DLC than just the one that comes with a season. And that framework is clearly based. Well, it's based on their logo. I wouldn't say it's based on the Skeleton Crew helmet. It's a bit of a difference between the two. But this one's got a bit of a different style to that helmet, even though it's the same logo.
While though, like, it's also similar to Supporter 1 in that it's quite gold based, right? You can definitely also compare them in that regard.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is gold based. It is based more excusably, in my opinion. Whereas a supporter, I still kind of feel like they need to make good on that and make it pure gold. I don't think there's really an argument against that, especially mainly for the weapon skin. I feel like the armor makes a bit more sense. I think in the context of Driller and Gunner, it's pretty pure gold, like except with Gunner's weird green bits. Obviously, you know, Scout and Engineer, you get a lot of their primary color, more usually than the gold. I just, and that's sort of an example of their sort of when they choose to apply logic, it doesn't tend to work in their favor. Like, I don't see. There's probably like, the cloth parts of their armor probably shouldn't be pure gold, should they? That doesn't really make sense. Well, you're making a DLC that's like almost twice the price of the normal one, and it's supposed to give you a gold skin. You should probably just make everything gold. You should probably.
Yeah.
But this is different. It's a much more different concept, and I think it delivers on the idea. It's not owing us a gold skin. This pack specifically, it's doing something different, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I feel like an easy way to go through it would be in order of the video, basically what they show. And obviously, the fact that this is a podcast is, you don't really get visual comparisons, but you've probably seen it by now, as mentioned, a news video before this one. You kind of know what you're going to be looking at. And they first go into the weapon frameworks, which obviously we saw some of these a while ago, right? We saw, like, I think, Thunderhead. I think I saw Thunderhead's one.
We saw the flamethrower. I think there was a cryo cannon, maybe. Where there was the first one that leaked.
There was something else.
Oh, it's a GK2, isn't it?
I think it might have been the GK2.
It was. Trust me.
Yeah, but obviously now with this one, obviously you can see like basically most of everything. Not like directly, just to kind of hover over everything. And these are definitely the most like detailed and like touched of like the fucking like frameworks we've seen so far.
I would call them the most intricate, because I think intricate implies a level of elegance and deliberate detail, whereas you have things that are the most designed. You possibly have more parts on them. Actually, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, some of them are kind of cluttery, but this arguably has like the most strong artistic direction, but it also has the most detail anyway, out of like a lot of frameworks. It's a bit weird that they managed to sort of get both in there. It doesn't necessarily feel overcomplicated to me, or at least it doesn't in the sense that I think what they're supposed to be shines through pretty well, despite the abundance.
It's like it's just like over designed or over detailed is the point of it, right? That like the kind of style that they're copying is like just an unnecessary amount of twirly whirlies and fancy royal curls
it's
and
called,
stuff like that.
decadence. Is the
Yeah.
excess of, I don't know, shit.
Yeah.
Like regality. Or
Yeah.
pointless excess.
Yeah.
Not
And
pointless, better to say. I mean, it's different. It's sort of like excess luxury. I suppose.
It's basically to make them look fancy, right? It's just like, if I have like 3,000 golden curls, then I am the richest, poshest man in the neighborhood, like that kind of stuff. And that's clearly kind of what this is taken from. I think the helmet, which we'll get to later, I think implies a certain place that they took it from. Like, I'm not actually sure what the exact helmet is, but I know it's very much inspired by a real thing. But I just don't know what it is off the top of my head. But yeah, it's I will say, because I didn't quite like the look of them on the teasers. I said I'm not a huge fan, but I do think it is growing on me. I think what it comes down to is the actual skins. Like they got the frameworks, and then you got the actual weapon skins. And I think the weapon skins with this framework work very well, but it doesn't seem like this framework will work well with at least the skins I saw it with on the like the accidental leaks.
Well,
so it might be not exactly the most flexible framework as far as things you can use it like paint jobs you can use it with. It might kind of rely on its own one a lot to be good.
well, yeah, probably. I don't. I guess I disagree in the sense of. No, I only disagree partially. As in, you have all of that forced colour design on it that looks good, basically. It's actually probably not going to be that difficult. Compared to, I guess, more so compared to something like, not necessarily Fourth Relic, obviously. I feel like the relationship between this and Fourth Relic is somewhat strange.
I'm going to say this.
I also mean like Glyphid Trophy Hunter, where you're not going to have a hard time with this compared to Glyphid Trophy Hunter, because this is a nice design. Based just but as it is. I feel like it'll work with a lot of simple weapon paint jobs as well. I think most of them, really. None of the weird like jungle raid. I mean, like things like obviously Dark Future, but that's another DLC one. But like Dark Descent, I can imagine not being too bad. People like Ghostly Pale. People like pairing that with Fourth Relic.
I'm almost definitely going to do that. I have that exact thing, Ghostly Pale with Fourth Relic for a look, and I've already looked at that, and I'm like, you are getting replaced with this. Like, this is going to be Ghostly Pale with this, and hopefully it looks good. But either way, I'm not going to be using Fourth Relic while this is a thing. This elaborate gold is just far better than Fourth Relic in that regard.
For that purpose, yes, but I don't think. I think that was Fourth Relic's purpose once, but I don't. I haven't felt like it was. I haven't felt like that's Fourth Relic's point for a while though. I haven't felt like Fourth Relic is meant to be the gold one. I feel like the idea of it being a dwarven heritage style framework has always been the point, and this isn't necessarily that. They serve a different purpose, but I also kind of agree.
I would argue the dwarven heritage one is Scale Brigade, right? That's clearly a lot more dwarven culture imbued into it with like the insignias and stuff like that.
No, that's Scale Brigade themselves. I think it's a bit separate. Fourth Relic has like dwarf faces in it sometimes. And I think it was kind of possibly mentioned as actually being that. What I just said it was when it was first introduced. There was a trailer for it. Either way, and when I mentioned the relationship between this and Fourth Relic is quite strange, I mean because the weapon skin is probably the best we're going to get as for a Fourth Relic default paint job that we can use on everything else. As in, it's probably better than that, frankly. It's like that, but a bit more neutral. Because it looks like the Fourth Relic base paint job, almost. Except without like the weird blue.
Isn't it just like grey and brown? Oh no, it's grey and gold. Like a very flat grey and then like a nice shiny gleamy gold.
Yeah, this is Yeah, it's pretty close
Yeah.
to Fourth Relic, the base paint job. So, fulfill anyone's need for that.
It's quite nice. Well, the thing is, the fact that the framework does the gold, does that mean that the gold on those guns are changeable? Like they're what's going to change? Because
well, we didn't see that. It didn't appear that was the case, did it? If you look at the leaks, that wasn't. Gold was in place.
The gold was always gold.
In this case, I do somewhat respect that decision. I almost wish Forced Colors had a toggle. But they couldn't necessarily do that because that color mapping, that texture mapping probably doesn't exist. They just made it all gold, so it will always be all gold.
Plus, there would be like no real other thing that would actually work on it.
Yeah, and I look at those frameworks, and I can see the gold parts that would change. Kind of. I mean, there was the shot. I don't really know. I saw someone point out. Actually, they didn't point it out for this. They pointed out in general how the very small weapons tend to get kind of, I don't know, shafted when it comes to frameworks. Especially in context of something like Fourth Relic or Scale Brigade, this is in a similar category. I mean, I'd argue it elevates itself, but it's in a similar category, and it usually just ends up having just the logo on the gun. I'd say they've been somewhat saved from that. The Burt definitely has been saved from just that. It's got a much more distinct frame around it. But in that same shot of the Burt, I can see the Sabata and the Zukovs. They don't, the Zukovs don't even have the logo. No, the Sabata doesn't even have the logo on it. Which is kind of bad.
It's quite nice though.
But yeah, it's a nice like steampunk-esque thing. As in, I don't necessarily get that from all of them like I thought I would necessarily. But if you look at that Sabata, that's more like a steampunk style thing, or like a royal steampunk. It's got like a royal edge to it still, but it's quite steampunk, really.
Yeah, it looks a lot more like the 9mm one though. It looks like they got rid of the giant fat bit at the front, because that's what fucking the current gold one. That's what it kind of does. It just adds a fat golden block at the end. But this one really sleeks it down, which it seems like it's kind of what it does for all of them, really. Like kind of just makes them all like, it adds a lot, but like really sleeks it. But it does seem like the bigger the gun, the better it's going to look with this one. I don't know about you, but you look at the shard diffractor.
It doesn't always happen, does it?
Have you seen the shard diffractor?
It's actually not that big. Surprisingly not.
Small.
It's not small, but it's like it's not as long as any of the big weapons. It's weirdly short. Look at it; it's not much bigger than the wave cooker, really.
I guess.
It's like a wave cooker, but longer and a bit like some stuff sticking out
to it. It's gonna get more detail and more like pizzazz, basically. And
now let's see the hurricane.
Actually, you can barely see the hurricane in like the background.
I didn't get. Oh, like
on the first Thunderhead, it's slightly.
I can kind of see what's going on there. As in, I don't think they've really managed to change necessarily the block part of it, but I think they have got some more detail on there. I can't quite tell though. But,
the minigun looks fucking fire.
Oh, I mean, they kind of all do. I mean,
yeah, I know, but like,
I noticed a minigun where it'd be like 3 barrels. I imagine in my head there's like, Davy Jones' like triple barrel cannons. That's what it. That's when
it just looks like they have absolutely covered its barrel in like detail. That's just what it kind of looks like. Obviously, it's at an angle where you can't really see the exact thing, but like, yeah, the gleam coming off that thing is kind of nutty. The cryo cannon doesn't look that special to me.
No, I saw the leaked one. The cryo cannon didn't actually impress me that much. The cryo cannon, honestly, I think the cryo cannon has a bit of a design problem. I don't find any of the frameworks particularly enticing at all. I don't really like the cryo cannon's design visually at all. None of them works for it for me.
I was because for the video I was looking at the cryo cannons, and I had the rival tech. And I was actually legitimately sexually attracted to that thing.
Okay, I'll give you credit. So, Cryo Cannon, Rival Tech, and Waster are good, and that's not surprising, especially Waster.
Yeah.
That's just
They're just really good nowadays. It's what it is. I don't think I own Cryo Cannon Builder's Choice yet, so I don't know what that looks like, but
it's not great.
yeah, it's surprised. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like the bigger the gun, the more detail they managed to cram on, and it even seems like they kind of also took what the gun has and worked with it, like with the wave cooker. It seems like they kind of like, even though there's not much of the wave cooker, like, because it's basically just like a framework, like literally, and like it's just like wires. In that
case,
stuff.
You can sort of see, you can sort of distinguish the gold parts, like the gold detail from the gold body, and you can see what part would get changed via paint job, sort of, like the front bits.
It's not much though. Let's be honest.
I know, but it's like the bits that aren't either curved or the logo. They're the gold bits that they're like the secondary color or the primary color. And the curved bits and the logo are like the forced color parts.
I feel like this is something worth mentioning. Is that like, I think it would be in their best interests, and it would be really cool if they did this. These Supporter 2 like frameworks would work immaculately with the old Supporter paint jobs.
I feel like they might.
With both, it is pure gold. If that was something that they did on purpose,
that would actually pretty much absolve any that sort of issue. I wouldn't really care too much about Supporter being full gold then.
Yeah, because I feel like these them making Supporter Edition 1 and Supporter Edition 2 just work together immensely well would be a very nice shout. You know what I mean? That would just be good, right? And like treating it like it, because like it could already do that. Like, as I'm thinking, like there is so little left of the wave cooker that isn't already gold that if you put on the Supporter paint job, you may just get the rest become gold. But I'm thinking maybe they should just do that with everything, all of them, and like that would just be like just a gigafuck amount of gold. Someone who, let's be realistic, deserves it, right? They got both Supporters editions. They deserve to have immaculately gold smothered guns, right? So yeah, I think that would be a cool thing.
Yeah, but that whole thing just circles down to Supporter 1. It like comes off as the point of it being pure gold paint jobs. This doesn't, and that's the difference to me. It's in a way why I almost kind of already like this more. I mean, I guess I already like it more because it's adding a framework, so it does have that to boot, and I assume it will be supported like one price, because I mentioned it. I can't actually remember if I said this when we started recording or not. That Supporter 1 it's not conventionally priced, as in if you compare it, it's not technically worth as much as it is, but that's not the point. At the same time, this is more worth it than Supporter 1 for the same price.
There is another thing.
Same price.
There is, I think maybe I might want to save this for later, but there's something that this Supporter 2 doesn't have, is a point of Supporter 1. It does quite a few weird things that nothing else does, but it gives you a tick or a little pickaxe icon right next to your name.
I mean, they didn't mention it, but I'm going to immediately interject. I think it will probably give you that if you don't have Supporter 1, though.
It might, but I feel like maybe it could have done with adding a new one.
Yes.
Adding its own one.
Like a little skeleton crew.
A little skeleton crew, a little like black and gold pickaxe or something, so that you could get like 2 on there. That would look pretty trippy.
I mean, a pickaxe set wouldn't have been bad either, actually, in this style.
They got the framework. It does look a bit sad without any, because like you can see the pickaxe with all the guns, and it looks
the guns, yeah,
without actually having its own like regal kind of parts.
I would have taken all of it, armor, pickaxe, Bosco.
Yeah,
I would have done. Save that for the Supporter 3.
Maybe, yeah.
Which would be, I guess that'll be like, like the 10-year anniversary.
The anniversary event. Maybe they slip in the cosmetics pickaxe like framework on there. Something like that.
They didn't tell us everything about.
Or maybe next season's pickaxe set is like it. But is that it, as much as it still has the framework, which is always good. There's no reason not to add a like color set, right? There's no reason not to if you've already got it made. Just add it to everything that you can. It's a bit sad that it's just sitting there without its regalness to it, but pickaxe has a pretty solid customization port as it is. So
pickaxe, yeah,
Oh,
even
well.
though it's arguably a lot of filler, which it is, by the way, but not in the sense of it necessarily being bad. But that's why they added pickaxe customization, just to fill
Yeah.
up the lost packs originally. So yeah, have a way.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we probably should save our individual thoughts of each of them once we've actually got our hands on them. And I don't think we're going to do that for a podcast. It'll probably just be a stream when we like play the anniversary one. I imagine we'll just like go through them and talk about them. But for now, I would say my opinion has changed in that I'm quite fond of this.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there was an aspect of unfinishedness to what the leaks that we saw, and not only that, part of it could have been the people who leaked it, their own lighting or the settings that they had on, or that it was slightly unfinished. None of them chose to use the default paint job either. And also, this is obviously, it's the lighting in this video is quite deliberate.
Yeah, they get the gleam, getting the angle off. Right.
But I think it will still look good in game, better than it did in those leaks. So we got that. But then the armor.
Mention the. Alright, yeah, the armor.
Oh, I guess armor paint job.
Armor paint jobs.
I hope you can notice the actual detailing in the armor.
Yeah, those little roses.
Okay, I think they are roses. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, well, apart from that, I was exactly right because I said black and gold yesterday.
Yeah, I think that's what it kind of is. I think it's like somewhat medieval, like maybe just past medieval, like France. I think that's kind of the time period that all of this is. The word Baroque comes to mind, but I don't think it's that. But I think it's the kind of like the Romance era, I think. I don't know if that's actually even a thing or word. But like, yeah, the roses kind of point me in that direction more, that I don't know. It's like when like Romeo and Juliet was kind of a thing, like that kind of era, with like grandeur and romance and stuff, and
okay.
unnecessary gold and curls. But yeah, no, the little rose patterns, and it seems like the belly sections of these dwarves are dwarf color coordinated, right?
Yeah, it looks quite uniform. There's a couple of things. I think I've noticed a few things, but at the same time, there's this screenshot I've got here where it's like I can see Scout and Gunner next to each other, and they kind of got the same like accents. But you look at Engineer, he's still got his red wires, and yeah, got the grey undersuit. But in a way, I almost wish the weapon skin was a bit closer to this with the black part. Like that's sort of that feels a little bit left out of the weapons. Actually, they got this really cool pattern against a black backdrop. I feel like they just should have used that realistically.
I think that's really what's going to happen though, right? Because it's like because those weapon skins with their default things don't actually really work with this armor skin, right?
Well, no, they do. So skip to like when it's just the Scout and the Engineer, because the undersuit is that color. And the gold rims are that color. You've got the gold and you've got the grey part. It's just the primary color on the armor in this case is this different black textured color.
Right. So if you're like a driller or gunner using the heavier armor, you might prefer slapping slapping on the and then having the gold design do that. That probably will look good.
Yeah. But obviously we don't have armor, but this armor paint job almost feels designed in a way to substantiate the framework. Like sort of, you're not necessarily you don't need to pair a specific armor set with the framework. You just need this armor set, and it will always look like it essentially works as the armor set for it.
And I would say, I'd like to say once again, this is another like really obvious, cool example of like Driller, him being yellow means he just gets more gold. Like he just always has more gold. Like you got us, like belly is like a really weird color. Like I think it's technically green, but like it's a real like I don't know, it's a weird one. But then Driller's just got more gold in his belly.
Driller. Yeah, let's go.
Getting the drip. But yeah, no, I mean that's really nice. Especially since let's be realistic, it's probably only done to match the helmets, which I think we'll get into after. I don't think that's exactly what it's on about next. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to say about them other than cool, more paint job good, yay, like hooray, hip hip, stuff like that. Yeah, and speaking of
what?
I don't know what I'm speaking of.
Speaking of hip
Speaking
hip
of
hooray.
mug now.
Speaking of mug.
Mug. This is first of all. I mean, it's just first of all, the mug looks fucking drippy as hell, right?
Hold on. So, okay, yeah, the mug, right?
Both,
okay,
by the way.
The mug.
Let's get this out of the way. It was just on the Steam post. It's an Oily Oath mug. Will get supportedized.
What's next? Leaf lovers.
It would be really right. It can only be. But yeah, Oily Oath. I fucking love it. Mainly because they turn like the curly regal part, and they use it to make the icon look like a kraken, right? Like that's clearly like.
Somehow I don't think that's what they're trying to do. But I see it. That's the thing.
Well, I would agree with you if it wasn't for the fact that their whole thing is like ghost ship, right?
Yeah, I know. Okay, maybe. It's a very good. Okay, it's a very high chance, but it didn't. For some reason, the way that it's done doesn't come off to me as if that was intentional. But I can see how it easily could be. I just feel like if it was, it would look a bit more like that. I don't know. Only because I didn't pick up on that for some reason, which is the only reason why I'm sort of claiming it that it might not be intentional, but it probably is. To be fair, and it looks good.
But yeah, it looks really nice. The rim looks nice. You got the black again, by the looks of it.
I like that. I definitely prefer this to the Clifford Sam one, but I will say
handle's nice.
I like the Oily Oath mug. I like that simple sort of tavern like stein that it is.
I think this does bring up the point in that now it's like relevant. You could make this argument and they would probably listen to you and be like, why are you bringing this up now? Is that you should really have access to both. Supporter edition Oily Oath. Supporter edition Clifford Slammer, normal Clifford Slammer. You really should be able to pick between them. Because as much as this one is technically better, right? It's great. It's more grander. It's more flashier. You still then lose the old mug.
You do,
which
exactly.
It's not nice. It's not like getting a DLC and then losing access to content. And obviously that is a very stretched way of putting it, but it is also a fact. You then lose access to the default Oily Oath mug, so you're paying money to lose it. And obviously, as you said, like you're going to get the supporter too because of all the other reasons, and you want to support the game. But it comes at the cost, which it should only ever come at the cost of money.
Yeah, but
no,
honestly, I
do
think the Oily Oath occupies pretty. I wouldn't say. No, I think it occupies a significant conceptual role of being just basic tap beer and being in a very, very traditional, stereotypical, comforting like beer stein. I think it has a purpose, that mug. I think.
Yeah,
it looks that way for a reason.
And its gameplay thing is also of note in that it's a beer that you can get. Like if you like, you like role playing in the way that you like having a beer between every mission. It is a beer that you can drink and not get drunk off, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously Clifford Slammer will fuck you up. You can't drink one of them without going into the next mission drunk. But you could just get an Oily Oath.
It's like role playing. You're just having a refreshing drink, but in between missions, it's like part of that.
Yeah,
and it's very like. It's the tavern aesthetic. It's important, I think. So basically, I think it should be like honestly different separate drinks, and it would be like Oily Oath supporter edition, as in it's like a supporter edition drink as well. You get like you can have a supporter edition Clifford Slammer, or you can have a normal Clifford Slammer. I think it shouldn't be like a toggle where you turn on the mug. There should be separate drinks. I think it should give you that drink basically,
I don't know if there's an argument to be had because I don't know how much coding this would require, but like it could just be that they're their own drinks.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, no, because you're like Oily Oath supporter. No, just have it be like Kraken Brew or something like that. Like Kraken, some alcohol beginning with K. Like it could be like that, and you only unlock it when you get and there's no visual saying, "Oh, buy the DLC to get this." It's just like when you get the DLC, you'll just have this mug appear and drink appear on
Leviathan lean.
Yeah, so yeah.
I love lean, Charlie.
Yeah, but at the bare minimum, it would actually be a very reasonable thing to just have them be alternates that you can pick between rather than forced with this one. And it's the same with the Griffiths Lammer one. It's like it's fine because they are technically better, right? They're more designed, they're more grand, but like it is still a fact that you do lose the old Drakes in doing that.
Yeah. Oh. Yes.
Why do you say it like that when you were the one that brought it up?
What? I'm not being silly.
Well, that year really sounds like move on.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever. Like
no, not
that.
whatever. No. I agree. But yes, move on. The mug.
All right. Yeah, but it's something worth putting to their attention. Honestly.
Uh-huh.
Here we are. The helmets.
The helmet.
Now, two things. Because I did the news video, I had some comments, which it wasn't really worth mentioning until like now with the helmets. In the me and Monkey had a conversation in the comments, and some other guy, I think on the Reddit post, had what gave his take in that he loves the frameworks, but he doesn't like the helmets. He was not a fan of this random Reddit guy. And I find that interesting because, as also on the news video, I fucking love these helmets. I love them.
Yeah, there's a lot. Awesome. I feel like there's actually quite a bit to this. First of all,
is that Griffith's head at the top?
Don't show me the two. Yes, that's a Griffith mouth. Don't show me the two helmets if they're not different, right? Where is the full face one? That would be amazing. Yeah. And I guess it's because when you look back to where this came from, there wouldn't have been a full face version. This isn't a Roman soldier helmet, right? This is something else. Still.
Yeah.
There should be a full face version.
Either that or what Monkey's, I guess not really theory, but like we were talking about it, and I was like, my only issue with them is that, as we got to see later, or like we saw earlier, this white mane will always be a white mane.
Tyler, I've got good news for you.
Exactly. That's, I think, what Monkey said, that the fact that there's two of them means that they're probably one of them is
no, Tyler. Okay, I see. I hate the fact that I'm so uncertain about things that I know are true, because someone said they said on the anniversary, they said this on the stream. So like, even then, I don't trust people enough. But still, someone said I think it was on Reddit. They said on the stream, the hair part actually changes colour. That's what they said. The dev said
that's why there is two of them. There's the one.
I think that's what it is.
There is merit to having one be white locked. I do think there is merit there, in that you would have two different colours hairs. That would be pretty cool. But I do also want there to be a colour coordinated one. And if that is the case, and that's why we're looking at two of them, which is what Monkey posited, that's why there was two, then that is sick as fucking hell. Because
it would be even cooler with I can't get over the half face thing, but it is really cool. If that's the actual the two different ones they're doing, that's fine. Because you also possibly, I mean, it'll just be something else. It'll be uniform, because if you have like I think there's also a chance that one of them is completely forced colours, because you have things like the classic mining helmet, right? You've got classic mining helmet, and it's yellow and white. And then you also have classic mining helmet uniform. I think that might be the difference here. And I guess if you implemented like closed face, it'd be like, do we just make one of them closed face, or do we make 4 helmets in total? I'm not sure. So maybe there's something there in why they didn't go for full face, and also because it didn't make sense considering the inspiration.
Full face, yeah, there isn't a full face. But what I think you've got to keep an eye on, Harry, and I mean keep an eye on literally, is because I don't think there's one in the game that will do this. But you can use beards with this, right? Like obviously, like this is just a helmet, right? Like that's what it is. So you can use mask with these, and obviously there isn't any mask currently in the game that would work particularly well. But there may come a point in time where they add a mask that just is sick as fuck, right? Like maybe I'm thinking like a Mad Max mask, something like that, right? Like a metallic bottom jaw, something like that would maybe just work really fucking good with this. So
I mean, like, something like the look at like the crest on the top of the helmet, the glyphid mouth.
yeah.
That. But like, so what I was about to say though, actually, is the best thing they could do is not actually have one be forced. The best thing they can do is have one draw from your armor paint job and the other one copy your hair color.
Yeah.
But saying that, even then, people would want different hair colors with the white hair on the helmet.
Yeah.
Also, it looks more like hair than anything. Actually, it does look like Deep Rock hair.
Well,
I mean,
that's
it
the point.
would. It would
is-
do. It is hair, but I just mean it
Yeah.
looks like hair, which means there's a.
Whether or not it's the actual dwarf's hair or just fur, either way, it should be dictated by hair color in a regard. Although you can't deny that the white is clearly what it's supposed to look like. In that it's
Yeah,
just
well, I mean,
the best way
if
of
I
it.
had to pick one though, I'd take armor because that's just a lot more variety. If it's copies, if it follows the armor paint job.
I would much rather hair. Like, if we're saying that like the alternate version isn't the hair color, it's the armor paint job. I'd much rather the hair change between them. And it's always not in black and gold. No way. Chances are, fuck right off.
Well,
No, it's not.
Well, of course it is. They've never blend. Well, I suppose they do blend hair and.
The hair is so much more significant there, right? The hair changing color would do so much more for that helmet.
Well, no, because it's clearly using. I guess you would have to call it like the quaternary color. It's in a color that's part of every paint job that you just don't see very often. It's like the least used color in the paint job, and that's what I would have to guess it is. So it wouldn't look exactly. Yeah. It won't really look like your armor.
Hats can use hair color even when there's other things involved, right? Like the bandana.
I was thinking about that, and I think so.
No, yeah, there is. Then again, the ones that use hair color, are they always locked?
No.
No, so yeah, you can have uniform based stuff that where it chooses from your armor and hair color in the same thing. That's completely on the table, has been for God knows when. Like maybe recently, to be honest with you, but it also could have been around for a while. I can't think of the first one.
Also,
but basically,
why is one of them not a different color then? If all of this is true.
What I'm saying is that this helmet is going to be sick either way. Literally, I would say this one, if you couldn't change any colors to it, it would still be a good helmet that I'm definitely going to use. But if it does have maybe an alternate armor form or an alternate hair form or just an alternate both, right? Like one is like completely restricted to that, like the white hair, the gold and black, right? There's one that's that, and then the other one is like whatever your armor is, whatever your hair color is. Like the other one is just completely free. That would be a very good balance of the two, I would say. Otherwise, you would have like 4, right? Like it's not that reasonable. Yeah,
if you got really down to it.
Yeah, but I think we're going to expect the fact that they're showing us 2 means we're going to get 2 different types, which is normal for headgears. But normally it's like a full mask and a half mask, like a half head. Which, by the way, they need to, now that masks are a thing, re-add the lower half of all those full masks. Just a fact. Just a fact. Where's the bottom half of Waster on its own? Just a fact.
Yeah, I mean, that logic doesn't apply to a lot of helmets. You can't cut, I don't know, Hex helmet in half, really. But like, gold head wrap, where it's literally the bottom half is literally a bandana. Well, yeah,
the ones that have a full and then a top.
They have a half where it's just the top, right? Yeah.
Of those ones, take the bottom half on their own, which you would have had because you cut it off, and then put it into a mask. And it would have so many cool ones. Bottom of Waster would be the Mad Max one I just mentioned.
I guess, I mean, I would rather something, but in that context,
one would be a nice
idea, that'd be great.
Face covering.
No, but the Mad Max thing, well, not necessarily the Mad Max thing, but I prefer ones that are like clung to your face rather than leaving your face exposed.
Sure, but it would just be like from now on they would think about it, but like they would just go back and sort it out because it is such a gaping waste of time and like of potential. Literally, like you have it there. You have it there. All you have to do is add it, and they just aren't. Which, in all fairness, they do that often, I imagine. A lot of things they probably have just sitting around. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. But this clearly is not going to have that issue since it doesn't have a lower half.
Does taking off the top half inherently mean they have the bottom half? I don't know how 3D artistry works.
Right. No, but also yes. It means that they know where the exact line would be, where they could just cut it off. Right.
Well, surely that's the part. Surely that would be the dubious part, though. As in, they wouldn't necessarily be the same. It might be. It might need to be slightly different for the bottom half for it to work as a beard. It might not be just exactly where it cuts off on the top half. Maybe, that might not be appropriate.
Still, it would only be a slight adjustment.
Yeah.
And it's just that you have it there, and like, because then it would also be like, the Grim Spectre. You have the top half and then the full mask. You would then be able to have a metal beard.
Jesus Christ,
that would be a thing.
That's the most obvious. That's the most obvious one, and I forgot about it. Actually, it's not the most obvious one. I think goggled head wrap is a bit more obvious.
Yeah, but it is. If like nothing comes from it, like Totsum, I'll probably just like do that. Like I'll use some shitty fucking cropping thing, like the snipping feature of my thing. Cut off like the top half of everything and just like put the bottom bit on dwarves, and then show you how fucking good that would be. And just be like, post that on Reddit. Post that on Reddit. Go ship it on this.
It's so terrible.
It would probably look a bit scuffed, but otherwise, I think I could easily get my point across. Yeah, I like to do that anyway. But
either way, at least one of these helmets is going to be something. I think probably.
Honestly,
looks like it. Especially if someone said that they said it, I'll take that. There's something going on. Something going on.
Minimum. Honestly, even if this is color restricted, which would suck. Maybe they hadn't learned that lesson. Even if that was the case, I wouldn't really care, to be honest with you.
Well, I'd be surprised if it was, because it's the same. It's the same colours as the armor paint job, which would indicate to me that I guess that's. I guess the awkward part of that is that what it looks like. Is that just what it looks like, or is that what it looks like with that paint job?
It's what it comes down to, which is obviously, I mean, your guy on stream and the fact that there's two helmets here. It's just the fact that there is a normal helmet and there is a altered one, but there is no visual.
In that same vein, I kind of really fucking need a skeleton crew uniform, please. God damn it! Especially with this now, if you could turn like the white parts on the skeleton crew helmet to gold. Hello. That almost felt like it should have been a part of this. When you look at, you have the golden skeleton crew logo on the ghost ship logo on the weapons. Also, that thing's neck needs fixing.
Brigade, right?
They need to fix the neck on that helmet too. That's just so stupid. There's no reason for helmets like that to not have the full neck covered. What?
I don't remember anymore. Far too long ago.
How is that not too long ago? The last thing you said.
Yeah, and that was a little bit ago. But yeah, no, point is helmets look cool as hell, but not everyone actually agrees on that, which is interesting.
But it's specific, isn't it? It's a specific type of helmet. Not everyone's going to like that type of helmet.
Yeah.
Deal with it. I could like it more. That's all I'm saying.
I fucking love it.
You gimp. What about Bosco? What about him exactly?
And the pickaxe ones, right? They're like together.
I mean, they do have intrinsic value. You know, there's more to Bosco and the pickaxe. You can change things about them.
Yeah, I think I might probably use the Bosco paint job. I think there's a likely chance. Same with the pickaxe one. But I'm not going to be like, thank God I have this, or like, this is the only reason why I'm buying the fucking DLC. Right? Yeah. They're not that. They're just like nice additions, right? That's basically it.
Yeah.
And they're not trying to be more than that. And I guess it's kind of good that Ghost Ship did hold themselves back from doing that. Because they could have done a whole Bosco skin and a whole pickaxe skin, like what they did at Christmas, but they decided, nah,
son, pie.
Nah, we spent too much time on this anyway. Yeah. So it is what it is, and it is a pretty paint job still. Got black and gold.
It is what it is. Black and gold. Black and fish walked out of the ocean. They grew
And that is
legs
actually
and
it,
they
isn't it?
started walking. The apes climbed down from the trees. They grew tall and they started talking. What?
That is it. That is all the pieces of the puzzle.
The pieces, the recent pieces.
The
I suppose
pieces.
actually, I guess in the final shot you can see the guys in full.
I
don't know
think
why they
that
chose to have the
GK
engineer hold the PGL.
that GK looks different from the teaser. I think.
Yeah. Is it? It wasn't a teaser. The leak. Is it me, or do I remember it having like two little barrels? Am I crazy?
Well, I thought it was more blocky in the middle. Like it used to be like it was like they had that, but then it was like really kind of tapped onto the original skin. But it looks like they've kind of rounded it out the rest of the gun more and like kind of worked it all together better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, seriously though, look at the minigun. I was right. Look at the fucking things on that, right? It's like covered in cool fucking patterns.
I think it's got the Ghost Ship logo on like the fucking the magazine, the drum, I should say.
Yeah.
They did it. They did it. They did it, buddy.
They did it.
They did it. They did it. It is kind of weird that the flamethrower looks like a blunderbuss, though.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think.
I didn't see the sludge pump. In there.
No, I didn't know.
Didn't get a good view of the.
Maybe they're just not doing it. They just like fuck the sludge pump, and they just.
Yeah, it's the least popular driller weapon.
Yeah,
that's true, by the way.
Oh god.
Oh. It's so stupid. It's so much better. It's so much better than the other thing. Actually, no, it's not, because I realised something. I get the impression that the reason why people don't like the sludge pump as much is because it's probably not the normal shots. Probably aren't that ammo efficient on like lower hazards. Like one whole shot to kill a grunt probably isn't that efficient compared to the flamethrower.
Yeah. Plus, you can only ever actually hit like 1 to 2 to 3 enemies.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Whatever. But with the flamethrower, you would hit like 17, or could hit like 17.
Yeah, I guess maybe because the sludge pump's use cases is closer to the grenade launchers than a minigun in lower hazard levels, when you need it really for the bigger groups or the bigger enemies. Whereas in Hazard 5, it's very worth it to use it on pretty much everything you see. Either way, that was a mini. Still, it's so much better than the other two. That was the sludge pump wrong. We got that over and done with. Way.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo! Any other thoughts on the DLC?
I was checking the comments of the Reddit one, because that's actually just done pretty well. Actually, it's got like 32 upvotes.
Reddit post, yeah, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
Dan the man thinks the hat looks super cool, but he can't see himself wearing them. That's apparently.
I'm almost in that. I think it depends on how much you can do with the hair. Oh, it's me.
Yeah. And then someone's just like Rock and Stone. And then Rock and Stone. Yeah. So I don't know. It seems like people aren't actually as big as a fan of the hats than I am, which is kind of sad.
No, but everyone else
is stupid except for me.
Well, I mean, everyone else is stupid, Tyler, but you're also stupid.
Oh, that's not very nice.
Nice.
As in that hurts my feelings.
Your what?
My feelings.
Max don't care about your feelings. Fuck your fact.
I got to YouTube the comments now, and Spin says, "Please be a paintable helmet." It's goddamn right, Spin.
There might be two. Well, there is two. I think that might be what it is. I think there's a set one and a uniform one. I think that's the most likely, because that's the thing. That's the thing that exists. There's plenty of hats. They have the uniform version. I mean, that's an old thing. They haven't actually done that in a while. That was like
they retconned something. They did, didn't they? The bandana.
What?
More bandana.
Yeah, actually, that's a recent implementation of that. Yeah. And then they do that, but then in season 3 we get the worst cosmetic ever made, which is a horrible force color bandana with no hair. It just goes around your head and with no alternate version of it.
Yeah, I think it's just a piss take, to be honest with you. I
It's
think
kind
it
of
was just
it genuinely feels like a piss take because it's
it
the
was
most
just
it's the most anti us cosmetic they've ever made.
yeah.
It's,
Well, it's the most anti good. It's
anti
like
good.
it's literally it's like, what is everything we could do wrong on a cosmetic? Okay, first of all, make it cover up barely any of the head and expose the fact that you can't use hair with it. Second, force shit colors, like force colors, and then those colors
Hear
be
your
like
mic
bright
jostling.
pink, like fucking bright fuck off pink with a shitty ass disgusting pattern on it, and it's like stuff like that. It was like, okay, yeah, all right, fair enough. You proved your point. It could be worse than what
We
we're
give
getting.
something to you, but we got to get something in return, which is
Yeah,
your pain, which is your.
yeah.
They also didn't
But
do.
no.
They also didn't do the bandana that I would have chosen, like with the uniform one. I mean, I guess it's the balaclava. The balaclavas, aren't they? It's like the full head wrap, isn't it? The camo one. That's the one that I wanted to be able to change the colours of.
Yeah, that one's a lot better.
Exactly.
a lot better.
It's kind of weird that they did the other one, like missed that one.
I think
It
it's
makes
just
me question
I
what
guess,
they want to see. Like, if they were playing the game, what they would want the cosmetics to look like.
I think that was just the one they heard everyone complain about, but they didn't think about they didn't think that they needed to fix the issue. They just thought they needed to fix
Yeah, that happens.
cosmetic.
That feels like it happens a lot. I mean, because like for example, with like the beards with like the face mask thing, that was sort of fixing one issue. But I guess it just gave them ideas. I guess.
Yeah, they did then kind of they never like continue to add more face masks to the head slot, right? They have actually sorted that out. Like that is the best thing that has happened to like cosmetics
It's
and like
happened to
that
cosmetics
stuff.
since frameworks were
Yeah,
separated from paint shops,
yeah,
which happened because
like
of a glitch, by the way.
oh, it's like Minecraft, right? Where like the creepers glitched and that like made the game forever better. Well, creepers. Whether or not they made Minecraft better is a question.
It is most
Can't they just
certainly is.
Creepers,
Creepers,
made it
they
hurt
didn't
more?
make Minecraft. They didn't make Minecraft better. They just made Minecraft.
Yeah,
The creeper
I
face
think
is like the Minecraft symbol, isn't it?
yeah.
Really, I guess the
They are the
dirt block
face.
is really, but the creeper face, that's Minecraft.
And the creeper's the most like unique mob as well, like because it's just unique to Minecraft. Except that it really ain't. A mob that explodes when it comes near you is like one of the most generic fucking
We
things
got
of all
those.
time. Yeah, exactly. In all fairness, though, the exploders probably were inspired by creepers since this game
In a
was
way,
inspired
but I
by
think it's
Minecraft.
fairly common enemy type. But yeah.
Yeah, well, it was also inspired by Left 4 Dead, wasn't it? And they also have exploders.
Yeah, I feel like the Glyph Exploder was inevitable, really.
Yeah.
It doesn't rely on the existence of creepers necessarily. It might have been drawn from. Obviously, they knew what creepers were, and they would have thought about creepers while they were making the Glyph Exploder. I'm just saying, Glyph Exploder was always going to happen. That enemy.
And then we got the detonator, which wasn't always going to happen, but
it's like
they did that.
It is actually kind of like the mutant creeper boss that they've just turned. So you know how the mutant creeper boss, obviously it's not official, but it's like it does things like that. I mean, I guess the fact that it does explode right without dying, or at least it releases explosions, and you can sort of just.
I don't remember exactly anymore. That's a bit too far back.
Bulk detonator is not really a mutation, but it is kind of because glyph exploders are not meant to live that long.
Well, yeah, that was the point, right? It was like an exploder tried to explode, but it like didn't, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger until it turned into a bulk detonator.
I think it just grew up, and they just don't let it happen.
I'm pretty sure in the Beast series, its thing is like it's like sometimes.
Can you like look right now?
No, my Xbox is turned off now. Just from leaving it on the side, which is annoying because my batteries are really fucked up. And unless they're fully charged, they don't turn on the controller.
Yeah, well, shut up. I've had worse controller issues. Whatever happened yesterday?
Right.
One of my controllers just stopped being able to be used for communication.
Is that still the case? I
think so. And the problem with that, and was that my other controller, the one that came with the Series X, refused to connect to it. As in, I was trying to like connect it. You actually use the connection things on the Xbox, the little button, the pairing. That's it. Actually, and it didn't work. It did eventually. I don't know what caused it to work. If it just did it right, or was there something else going on? It was either way. It was bullshit, man. It was bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sue Ghost Ship Games.
That's reasonable. I think that's completely fair. Yeah. All right. That was the DLC content. Which how long was that? Just so we have a guideline. An hour. Shit, no, that didn't feel like that at all. But yeah, so I guess we got plenty to talk about then.
I gotta go to the toilet and get a drink.
Little man's room.
What?
Little girl's room, I think is what women sometimes call the bathroom.
The little girl's room. That's fucking terrible.
I think something like that. In shows normally.
Why? I'm just going to the little boy's room.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Alright.
What are you doing? You eating?
Nom, nom,
Is it something you haven't had before?
No. I've had it a couple of times. Because we had one a while ago, probably like a year ago now. It's Rice Krispie Squares, but
brilliant.
Where there's like Rice Krispies, there's chocolate, and where there's squares, there's chocolate, and where there's chocolate, and it's just too much chocolate. There's just a lot of it. Like it's like there's like chocolate in amongst like the marshmallow like liquid thing that like sizzle together. There's like a drizzle of chocolate bits on top, and basically
dumb.
Yeah, and normally we don't get to eat it because it's mum's food.
Wow,
but it's
mum's food. That sounds so ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it's like she has like crunchy nut cornflakes. Those are hers. You touch them, you die. Okay. And Rice Krispie Squares. And I think technically, well, with the treats, when it's chocolate, if she doesn't touch it for like ages, it's not because she doesn't want it. It's just because it's not time for it. But she's put these in the other cupboard, which is like our cupboard, where me and Mitchell tear anything to pieces that they get put in there, or at least that we would want to eat. And yeah, so I've been eating some of them, and I've yet to get shouted at, so I assume it's okay. I
just love that it's Rice Krispie Squares that your mother covets with an iron clasp. Let them out at sight. She keeps one in her purse at all times.
It's just
ID.
Overwhelming chocolate in them, which even is a bit much for me. I do prefer like normal Rice Krispie Squares, but
you would.
Yeah. What?
Fucking toddler.
Rice Krispie Squares are nice as hell.
I had something I haven't had before today, but there was no way I was going to be able to eat it. I went to Kufka for lunch.
Kufka?
I think it's called Kentucky Fried Chicken. I call it Kufka.
Right.
And I had a Zinger Stacker burger, which is a Zinger, but with more chicken in it.
What's the Zinger?
It's just a spicy chicken burger. Pretty simple.
Right.
And I went in there expecting to get a Twister wrap of the day. Turns out today there was no wrap of the day, and instead of it being £2, it was $5.49. I thought, well, fuck that. I'm getting something else. So I got myself a Zinger Stacker burger, and it was really nice.
Honestly, KFC is like generally like at least good. Right?
It's actually not bad quality chicken. Now, I know that it's not the best. America goes nuts with fried chicken, right?
Yeah. We don't have many options here.
But as far as fast food goes, KFC is not like the trash that Burger King and McDonald's is in terms of actual quality of food. Those chips are good quality. Like those fries are actually good quality. That chicken is well done, generally, except for the weird bits.
Yeah, well, because I'm actually like, because like Mum doesn't like bones in it because she's like really picky with her meat. Like if there's like any,
I'd just eat it without having to not eat it.
Yeah, but like the meat the ones with bones, I would say they are very versatile in that like you can bite into it and you could get some of the driest, shittest chicken you've ever had in your entire life, something from Nando's, right? Or you get the juiciest, tastiest, crispiest piece of god food you've ever tasted your entire life.
It was two like chunky fillets. Obviously, it's not like McDonald's chicken nuggets. That is chicken paste, right? Because you look inside it, that's not how chicken is. If you just cut it off the chicken, like a fillet, I think it comes from the wing or the breast, or you just get chicken breast. I think breast fillets. I think that's what it was. It was two chicken breast fillets separately fried in the burger, and they were both that level, that tier.
With
pretty fantastic.
Yeah, because I did have like a chicken burger at some point because it was around when like the cat was on the way out, and he really liked KFC, so we got it quite often on that that month period of time, and tried that, and it is really nice. For some reason,
I don't mean to break it to you, but should you really have been giving him that?
Does KFC cure or weight cancer worse? Because if so, then maybe we shouldn't have.
I think about with humans. I feel like KFC would definitely make someone's like, yeah, I think so. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he didn't eat much. That's kind of the point.
People better, Tyler. That's what I'm saying.
Well, he loves it so tough. He spits out and like vomits up most of the other food that we gave him, so that's the only thing he kept out.
Tyler,
they're lactose intolerant.
And they love milk.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah.
I got you. Well, they love anything that they shouldn't be eating. Although they do actually seem to catch on to some things. Like I'll drop like a bit of chocolate on the floor, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Well, they don't like things like that. They don't like sugar, really.
I know all the things that will just straight up poison them. It's most of the time. Although they do literally eat like grass, which obviously doesn't sit with them well.
They do that. Yeah, exactly. Right. I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I was quite started learning quite a few things about cats, but now I don't anymore.
Do you see that? Do you see that thing about the guy where his friend came around drunk and he's like, oh, what did he ask for? I don't even know what he asked for. Anyway, he kicked the guy's kitten across the room, and then the guy whose house it was, the not drunk guy, proceeded to lay into him, the other guy, for half an hour long beating. Actually, he said it was multiple beatings across the half an hour period.
So he hit him for 5 to 10 minutes straight. My arms are getting tired. Went off, had a drink, a little rest, and came back and beat the shit out of him again.
Yeah.
Completely warranted. The fucker deserved it.
And they say John Wick wouldn't have worked if it was a cat. It wouldn't have, by the way.
Yeah, I guess, but that's only because I feel like every person understands, and this comes from experience. I never had a cat or a dog, but I always preferred dogs. Dogs were always the ideal pet, right? They were always the cute, cool guys that are dogs, man's best friend, all that jazz, right? But if you have a cat, and this might be probably the same with a dog, but reinforced. But it kind of takes having a cat to realize that they are at least equal to dogs.
But dogs kind of just love everyone unconditionally.
Yeah, but then cats have the issue of not loving you. Right?
No, but I mean that's why you need
to play that gamble.
That's why it's only people who have cats are the ones who like cats. But most people who don't have dogs still like dogs because dogs just like everyone.
Yeah. You bump into a dog's like, yeah!
Woo, you're a person, let me fucking lick you. Fuck off, I'll backhand you. Get away from me, you fucking mutt. I don't want to talk. Leave me alone. It's disgusting.
That's not very nice.
I hate dogs.
But yeah, then low-key, it literally...
People are really passionate about this. We could do subscribers. I don't hate... There's a lot of dogs that I like. I find them, on average, more annoying than cats.
Me and Tom have not had many serious arguments. If you know Tom, on the channel. But when it comes to cat and dogs, until I got my cat, that was one of the few serious ones. Fuming at each other.
A cat after that. After we met our cats, he wanted a cat.
Tom said cats are better because he had a cat growing up. I said dogs are better because
Oh.
all the cats I've ever known shit in our garden. And like just made everything smell of shit, and they were mangy little fucking
Yeah, that's
rat
just not
bags.
what cats. I mean, your
But
cat
it's mainly
kind of sounds
because
like it, but a well-trained cat is they don't shit on the floor. But I guess you don't take them for walks. I guess.
Loki did shit on the floor near the end, but he was like already potty trained like the fucking immediately, right? As soon as we got him, like he was like doing it in things. We're like, oh, that's handy. But like it was only because on the way out he didn't care enough and didn't have enough time to like aim. He's like he went to the toilet and then just like free for all.
Oh my god! 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 My my dad's like it's like his best friend. Is like this guy, this fucking man child. He's actually a really cool guy. I shouldn't say that. But there's like an in joke they have where he's just like still a teenager. Anyway, his dog. I haven't met his current dog, but his dog. Like, I think it's a bit too old for it to still have its balls, but it does still have its balls. And it just keeps coming on everything.
That's what happens. That's why they cut the balls off, right?
I guess so. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
It's literally it. That is, it is to stop them from having the humping instinct, basically, and like start coming on everything. Or if they hump, they don't ever actually, do it. But yeah, he probably just humps everything all the time, which
God.
it's less than preferable.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It is the fact that I think you will always prefer whatever you've had, or the opposite, depending on how well that experience went. I guess, because like so far, I mean, I've not had many pets, but we had hamsters. My brother had hamsters. Not very appealing pets. That experience it showed me in that they don't do anything, and then they do everything at stupid o'clock at night, and they make tons of amounts of shit. And they're just a real pain in the ass, and you can't even like hold them or pet them, or they'll disappear into the wall.
They just don't do anything except shit.
And die in really violent or weird ways.
I've never heard of a normal hamster death. Always some wild shit. Just like, that's how it goes, isn't it? It's like mine, like I don't know, mine microwaved itself when it exploded. It's like mine jumped off the roof.
Hamster disappeared for 2 months, appeared from under the fridge, looked up at me and died. I mean,
what do you want? Oh my god!
In all fairness, one of Mitchell's ones was definitely that. The other one did die in a pretty normal way, just in a tube without us realizing.
But literally just running against the wall until it dies.
Yeah, well, just a boo, which it was Hammy and a boo was his pets. Hammy the hamster and a boo because of the Harry Hill movie.
Oh.
It was a boo. And when he got Abu out, like to put him in the ball and play with him, he fucking ran for it. And we never saw him again. It just literally just went into the walls, and that was it. The end of Abu's story. And Mitchell was not happy. And it's basically hamsters and small pets like that is barely worth having. Really, I really do think. And obviously, if you have a pet like that, then sorry, but I don't take it back. It's just you clearly know better than me. We'll go with that. But it's just if you can't at least like pick them up and like pet them in like any meaningful manner.
Well, you can't really do that for fish.
Exactly. That's why fish are terrible pet.
Oh, they're too expensive to be worth it, aren't they? Fucking idiots.
Fish aren't. Like fish is the same as the bearded dragon, which we also have. They're just decoration. they're just living decorations. Because like my granddad, apparently he had like a giant fucking fish pond at the back of his garden. That was like they spent like all of his free time doing basically. Like he had a giant koi pond with like layers of fish, and he had like fucking ecosystem going on.
It was a sushi chef.
No, but he's a butcher, but not sushi.
He's a butcher, but not a sushi. He's a butcher.
Like he cut meat, but not fish meat. But he just did that. But apparently it cost an obscene amount of money, took an obscene amount of effort, and I refuse to believe that it was worth it.
It's worth it when you've got when you're just bored. You're just a bored old man.
but he wasn't that then. This was like his like probably 40s, I imagine, around then. And now he is a bored old man.
Without a fish
and
pond.
without a fish pond because he moved from that
That's why
house
he's
that
bored.
had the pond. Yeah, I guess because then he used gardening at the old place, but now he doesn't live there anymore, so he really got nothing to do. But yeah, he just models. He's always done models actually. Now he's just only can do models.
Yeah. You know what he should do? Just start a drug ring.
Yeah,
That'll give him something to do.
that would.
He should become the next Mike Ehrmantraut.
Well, really though, if you're at like that point in your life, which that point being 70, his birthday was a couple of days ago, is what's really going to be the worst
I
case?
reckon your dad could be your dad, your granddad could be a successful like gang lord, crime lord.
Well, he's got the body for it. The issue is he's actually he could play an old kingpin. He is bald and rotund, and quite short. Although Kingpin's not short, he's just very rotund. But I don't know. My granddad could definitely play a Kingpin.
Is he Big Jack Horner? Is he?
No, because it's pure belly. It's pure mass in in his stomach area. It's just fucking wide as hell. In belly wise. Sounds like a weird Pennywise clone.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Ugh, belly wise.
Yeah, but enough of my life stories. We're here to. We already talked about DSC, but we have got some things on the Steam post that's definitely worth talking about.
On the agenda.
On the agenda.
On the agenda.
Yeah, I don't think we need to really read through the whole Steam post in the normal way that you
Can
probably
you believe
would
it's
in your
been
videos.
5 years since Galactic released? Yeah.
Yeah,
I can as well.
Yes, I can believe that.
It's not a new game anymore. Honestly, it didn't feel like a new game when we got it. To me, I feel
no, not really. No, it's because we got it year 2, right? Or around year 1 to year 2.
It was year 1 of release. It wasn't available before 2018.
Right.
You dingus.
Well, I still barely remember when we actually did it. I remember that an event, I see an update was coming out when we were doing our GCSEs, and that was was getting you through it. I remember that. That's about it.
Just me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Because you get hella stressed, don't you?
Oh,
so
right.
you needed distractions. Meanwhile, me, Tom, and James never gave a fuck in the first place, so it didn't matter at all. We were all completely numb to the entire thing. Already knew that we were going to fail miserably. Meanwhile, you went in there with the expectations to do well, and you did. So I got to give you that.
There is a marked acknowledgement in this post of their lack of self-control on multiple occasions. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It happens twice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't feel like it applies that much here. It's we couldn't help ourselves. This is becoming custom. We had to do something special for this occasion. Yes, you did. It's the 5th anniversary. I wouldn't call that getting carried away. It is special. It is.
Yeah.
I don't blame you this time.
Yeah. The Christmas one was a bit unnecessary. That can't be denied. There's nothing inherently special about that Christmas that warranted so much more stuff. But yeah, 5th year anniversary also could be classified as a celebration of the 5 million players. Obviously they haven't said that, but it's something they're just celebrating everyone that's playing the game, and it's completely fair enough.
Thing, and in fact that it's just more successful than it's ever been. It's just overall an achievement.
And
it's. 5 is always just a significant number. I feel like every 5th year is something in something sometimes. Didn't you feel like that in your 5th birthday?
I wasn't quite conscious, but yeah, 5 is a number. 5 is definitely a number.
I consider myself fully conscious at 15.
Yeah, it really is funny though looking back, and this is turning really into weird like personal stories, isn't it? But like it really is like when you were going through puberty, and everyone was saying you're just going through puberty, you don't know what's going on. You're like, nah, I'm like conscious and making actual decisions, and then looking back, you're like, man, what the fuck was I on?
I always kind of knew I was stupid.
like Jesus Christ, like fucking hell, what a mess.
Children are stupid.
I was such a little snivelling shitbag,
Snivelling
and now I'm
shitbag.
just a shitbag.
Ow. I
snivel
wouldn't say
less.
you're not snivelling. I wouldn't say.
What even is snivelling? It's just
Yeah, that is literally what it is. It's just those sounds. Like,
no sounds, which is what I did growing up. That was me during puberty. Just, and,
constantly, you just go.
yeah,
Idiot.
yeah. But yeah, 5 years. Fuck in hell. That is a bit of a while ago.
We haven't been playing for 5 years. Keep in mind, we haven't. Like I said, I think we know now. We started like Halloween or something.
I think we. Yeah, I think,
as in Q4, 2018. I think we did. That's fair. Let's just say that
we didn't really play anywhere close to regularly until like about launch of the game. Really. Like we would like burst play it for like a week or two, and then we'd stop playing it until like the next update, stuff like that. And sometimes we'd miss updates.
Yeah.
But
imagine
then once it got around launch,
can you imagine that? Missing updates, just not knowing. Impossible.
Yeah. 5-year anniversary event. Yes, there will of course be an in-game event for this year's anniversary.
You said you weren't going to read everything. The important part here is their detailing of what the event entails. Space trick decorations, rewards. Oh yeah, rewards. I wonder what the actual things in game will be. Maybe they'll be better than usual. Rewards and botched Longbeard freight deliveries, all that you have come to expect. I like that because that's like they've just condensed. That's them just locking in the formula, basically.
Yeah. It's 100% at this point.
It's all you come to expect now. Like the Longbeard deliveries, not only like the XP event, but the fact that it's specifically that gag. It's like now they've locked it in. So this is what you expect now, isn't it, guys? Yeah, right. Yeah, because it's just what we do now, basically.
I wonder how long it's going to take for people to start using Longbeard as like a insult for incompetence. Like how long that's going to be a short term.
It's inherently like that's a good thing. Like
yeah, but they are changing that, right? That as many as every time this event occurs, someone's going to fucking pick up on it, right? In the like obviously greybeards are long-time players, experienced. Greenbeards are new players, inexperienced. Longbeard is now being associated with someone that fucking botches it every time. It's completely unreliable. So Longbeards could be described as players that just can't clutch, maybe something like that.
Yeah, the Longbeard gets caught up in their shoes. Like they trip over their Longbeard.
Yeah.
It's like you've been playing for a long time and you fuck up a lot.
Yeah, Longbeard's like someone that should be better than they are, or like a really like high tier player that's just a bit of an asshole. So maybe something like that. Like Longbeard is like we acknowledge your like playing amount of this game. Like you're clearly at a greybeard level, but you are not experienced or good enough to be a greybeard. Therefore, you're a Longbeard.
For a long time, but you're not experienced.
Yeah, you have no fucking clue what you're doing. You've just been doing the same wrong shit for too long. Like that's what being a Longbeard is. Maybe like that's what it could turn into, is what I'm saying.
A bit of a Longbeard,
and I'd be up for that. We're a bit of a Longbeard with like terrain manipulation most of the time. We just don't be asked.
That's just cool. That's just Sigma grind set.
Yeah,
that's just us being better than everyone else. Right. Okay. The date. The year 5 anniversary starts on Thursday the 2nd of March and ends on Thursday 16th of March. Why?
Yeah, because this is considering the date of the anniversary is like a day, right? Like an actual day, which is in February, isn't it? Like,
no. Yes. I feel like I remember.
Is it February 25th? I think the game launched. So it's something like that, wasn't it? At least that's when the stream occurred last year. The anniversary stream was February 25th last year.
28th. 28th is actually when it came out.
Right.
But hold on.
So
That's what I want to focus on, though. The stream itself. Is the stream going to be before the event, or is it going to be just later?
I think the stream might be probably at the beginning of the anniversary, maybe, or well, yeah. I mean, first of all, yeah, I realise now that the Supporter 2 is coming out on the date of the Thursday, 2nd March. That's when the DLC is coming out. So the DLC and the event is simultaneous. So that day is going to be pretty high.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we haven't got DLC on not an update before, so we might actually still get it later.
Yeah,
we don't know how it's going to work.
I think that is something worth. It's not.
Here's a tip, Ghost Ship. Specifically when it comes to DLCs, right? Okay. Basically, what you should do is, because obviously the DLC is done before something comes out. Obviously, it's a DLC. Like, it's done. Basically, what you should do, try and put it on Xbox 2 weeks before the event.
Yeah.
Right? As in, kickstart that process, and then it will come out simultaneously with the event or future
I imagine
seasons.
They do probably do something like that. Like, they just have to get it in there early, get it approved, but then just kind of like hold on actually publishing it. Just get it approved early and then hold. Which might be what they are doing already, because clearly they have it in the game, right? Like, you know, people accessed it, which I think is kind of wild, because the people that had the leaked ones, do they still have it?
No.
Exactly.
Don't know.
Because if so, they would have had free DLC.
Free DLC. Yeah, no. But why does it have to be later?
I don't know.
I mean, it's obviously they put more into it, but, you know, it's not considered a delay for some reason.
I think it's because it's kind of arbitrary, really, isn't it? But it's weird that the anniversary event isn't occurring on the anniversary in any way, shape, or form. It depends on the stream as well, though, because I don't know. It's just weird that it's taken that long, because that implies that maybe it is delayed, right? That because this is another thing,
but by
right?
What,
Harry,
at this point, by what? The DLC is done.
ERG Legacy.
Well, apart from
to commemorate 5 years in orbit, we are adding the option to play the original version of the game. So while they've been doing this anniversary, they have also been adding a alternate mode, which we have no fucking clue on the details for.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know if it's an alternate mode or not. I would assume by the fact that they didn't mention it being like a separate game, but it's not that. It's not software, I assume. I assume it's going to be built into the game itself. So the implementation of that, yes, I agree, that probably required some work. Might explain a lot about this, and it might explain a lot about the future. Because I doubt this was easy, because I doubt...
Yeah, so I don't know when they would have been working on season 4. This just keeps really coming back to this. And I'm going to bring this up because I realise that it doesn't feel like a podcast, because actually we have the screens pulled up. Obviously you don't, sorry about that. But as mentioned, just look it up on the interweb while watching it if you want to see
Bring
visuals.
your own copy and sync it up.
Yeah, print one out with a link below. Don't put a link below. Don't do that. But yeah, like, it is like, this anniversary event is delayed. It's like further back than it needs to be. Plus, they haven't actually scheduled the stream day, which I think is fine, because I imagine that's going to be working around a lot of people's schedules. So that's like human reasons. That's fair. But if that also occurs later, then because we're very much expecting to get the roadmap during the
big news
thing. And with the DLG Legacy, which first of all I think is a really cool idea. I think that we'll get into that probably a bit later. But it's I don't know what they're doing, but I feel like something later on implies that they're up to some mischief. But it's just,
well, we'll get to that. Actually, do you know what I want to quickly, because I feel like we might get more out of DLG Legacy than you think. I want to talk about the actual Double XP event, because Given how they keep bringing up themselves getting carried away, we bring up the fact that this is like unofficially delayed. I do think it's like possibly more closer to the elf than say the other ones.
What do you mean?
The double XP event delivery.
Right, maybe, but then again, they do have a new beer model.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So that is something. But then again, that beer you could then order in game. It's not a DLC beer. But I'm not sure what else would be, right? Because if we know anything about the decorations, it doesn't seem like it's going to have like models of stuff, right? It's going to be a fancy chandelier golden
what if it's
thing,
chandeliers?
right?
They're flying around and
Yeah. I think it would be funny and good if they had like chandeliers in the caves. To be honest with you,
just hanging from the ceiling. Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah,
They make them cave leeches.
maybe that could actually be it though. Like they replace gunk seeds, and you have to like it's like at the ceiling, and you have to like shoot it down and like
Well, they
grab
are
it.
a gunk seed like thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to drop it to the floor and then deposit it to I don't know, get the reward, and it'll like tie it to the top or something. Of Bosco, not Bosco, fucking hell, Lolly.
Basco. I like Basco.
Wasco.
Either way, that will either be something or it won't be anything special. Because frankly, I think DLG Legacy and the DLC is more than enough. But yeah, obviously DLG Legacy. So it's an older version of the game, and
Isn't it like the oldest version of the game? Really?
Well, no, it's not the oldest version. It's the oldest public version. It's the oldest version that the public have played. Obviously, that doesn't include everyone. That doesn't include anywhere near to most people who play it now or have played it.
Yeah.
Very few people have experienced a game like this. We haven't experienced a game exactly like this either.
This is going to be before weapons, right? Or this is going to be like flamethrowers, Sparta. That's it for Jella, right?
This is Gen 1 only. There's no Salvage Up either or Glacial Strata. It's like the big stuff that I know isn't in there. I think Bosco might. I think Bosco's in there. I don't think Bosco will have upgrades though. So
I'm not sure. Does the flamethrower now have upgrades at this point?
Yeah, I think they do.
There's obviously not overclocks. Let's get that out of the way, just in case no one. Yeah, but no people might not know when that shit was added, right? New people, which is a lot of people, might not know how far back some things go. But overclocks and that are pretty recent as far as to get. Well, I guess actually about halfway.
2019.
If you think about it, yeah. Well, really?
That's not halfway, is it? It's not.
I thought it would have been past 2019. Shit.
No, that's when deep dives were added. They weren't added like it didn't feel like it took a crazy long time for deep dives to get added when we started playing.
I think it's just that like I haven't appreciated how long the game has been out. That it's been out for what, like a while. Is it longer than it was like not out now?
What?
It's been like 2 years, isn't it? Since it was released, probably more than that, like 2.5.
Oh, you mean it's been longer since 1.0 than from this to 1.0?
Yeah. When it's been public, has it been after release longer or before release longer?
I think it might actually be like equal, like right now.
All right.
Maybe. A little bit. Possibly. Either way, I don't know everything that's going to be missing. I know the biggest. Well, obviously, we played just before the guns got added. But obviously, that's going to be a big thing. And also, I said like Salvage Up and the guy, Glacial Strata. I don't know what other big things are missing. I know, certain things like Betsy won't be there.
Tons of enemy types.
And obviously, a lot of enemy types. Actually, hold on. Does this mean the Glyphid Soldier is in there? Or is it a Glyphid Grunt Veteran, isn't it? Like, before the Guard. Remember that guy? Before they split him into the Guard and the Slasher?
I don't remember him, but I know of him.
Yeah, I think he might be in there.
But yeah, this is going to be incredibly interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know when this is going to be available.
The way they talk about it implies like soon.
Yeah, like now.
Well, yeah. We are adding the. Well, yeah. I mean, we are adding the option.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I hope it's before because that means we can do something with it before the anniversary starts, and we can separate the two. I don't know why. I don't know how I got this idea. I thought it was going to be out like now. I thought, oh, we'll stream this tomorrow. I don't think that's the case. So,
Yeah.
um,
It doesn't seem like a distant thing. Like it doesn't seem like they've decided to do this. It seems more like they're basically done with it.
yeah. I don't really. I've got no real idea of how much work this would take anyway. I'm just going to use it as a scapegoat. Because it seems complicated.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing. They're not just going to grab the 2018 version and then put it in the current game. They're obviously going to have to like really fix it, like not just like obviously like add content or whatever, but just like it was a crashy, buggy, fucking mess back then. And they are not going to release it in that state. No, they're not going to be doing that though. They're not going to be releasing a super fucking glitchy version.
We are going back in time to the time before. A time before overclocks. Yes. It actually wouldn't be too hard to figure out exactly what that would look like, to be honest. If I go to, I don't know, what if I go to like update 14? Right, update 14. That was the 15th of June, 2018. Update 13. That was May the 4th. Update 12. Oh my god, there's no Mac Terrors. There won't be any Mac Terrors.
It's legacy version.
This was March 23rd.
I wonder what it's going to do with your save. Like your character
well,
save.
I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know how it's going to handle progression in that. Oh my god, the biomes are going to look very different.
So they're going to be like very barren.
Yes. Oh my goodness gracious me. They put out like fucking 5 updates in March 2018. Anyway, the alpha launch. Oh yeah, Bosco was added with this. Good lord. Work instructions, patch notes. The map. Oh my god, we got a map title. We got a map. The memorial hall was there.
It'll be different though, like very different. I remember the memorial has been going through like
no grenades, changes. Like no different grenades. That's going to be interesting.
So everyone just got like the HEs and Scouts got the RGs and that it.
Yeah. And Gunner will have satchel charges.
Satchels. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. No, right, it's fine. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting in that I feel like they might fuck around and make it that not the case, which I really hope they don't do.
I don't see why they would.
Wouldn't that mean that the rest of the got Sabatas or that? No, wait, that's not a thing. I don't know why I made that up.
You what?
Don't worry about it.
I'm worried.
Don't.
Oh yeah, what about the Sabatas other upgrade? If there's no Macteras? What even do those mod trees look like at all? I don't know.
Do they even have mod trees back there?
Yes. No, maybe. I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah. But damn.
What it is that should be very interesting when it drops, and you know damn well that we're going to do a video on it. As in probably quite a few, I imagine. And I imagine a lot of other people are as well, because it's basically what TRG historian has access to, like always. But now everyone will have one.
Well, he's got more. He can go further back. Actually.
He can go wherever the hell he feels like, really, isn't he? He's got like a fucking time machine.
He does. I think he does actually have a time machine in his computer.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got it. Actually, I don't think he played with Dwarker, but he's got footage of it, and that's important. So there'll be more news from now till then, which is good. I don't really know what else there is to say, unless they're going to drop a roadmap for it.
Legacy.
Just in general, it reads there will be a couple more supplied pods of information before we arrive at the year 5 anniversary. So yeah, you got that.
Through this month, we should be looking at a couple more bits.
They don't have a date for the live stream yet, so it could be earlier. It could be more so on the day, or it's more likely to be on the. Oh no, isn't the day a Saturday this year? Yeah. So maybe not. I guess it's still working day, I assume, for them. I don't know.
No,
Actually, probably
actually,
not. No,
no.
no. In their case, it probably
The
isn't. No.
They do like school hours. I think. Well, not school hours, but like
hours.
just weekday.
Yeah. Work week. Yeah. Okay. So if we're done with that stuff, there's a little bit of a
Then
tail end to address.
Yeah.
Just a bit. Well, I mean, it's not information, is it? It's words.
Right. I think. Yeah.
In case you're wondering, no, we're not slowing down Deep Rock Galactic. On the contrary, we have never been as busy making exciting new things for this labour of love, which now turned 5. Keep your eyes and ears open for more details on this coming your way soon.
This makes me think. This makes me think that this whole time, well, I've been thinking that their entire workforce has been working on this. They actually have like half, and they've been fucking powering away at an update that's going to shove my own ass into my own ass.
I think there's a chance they might be cooking.
I think those words are directed directly towards like me and or us.
Just you.
Yeah, just saying no. We're not just working on the holiday events. We've been working on the season. So shut the fuck up and enjoy and look forward to it. Which I find interesting. Because I mean, Deep Rock is slowing down as far as seasonal editions are concerned. And not seasonal as in holiday. I mean, holiday is in holiday, but that seasonal as in seasons, as in updates that add stuff that's permanently in the game. It has slowed down.
They just seem so genuinely excited. Again, I honestly felt that wear off a bit at some point. Probably
around the
season
robots.
3.
But no, it felt like robots. To be honest with you, it felt like that summer bit with Robots Part 2 and everyone being like, fuck you, fuck this, these fuckers, I hate them, boo, like all that stuff. I think it got to them basically, and they kind of didn't really talk much during that period of time. They didn't really hype anything up. They didn't really want to talk to anyone.
Talk to anyone. But no, I just mean they're excited. I feel like when they're excited, they start cooking.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing though, really, isn't it? Like if they can't help themselves,
and they have been doing something.
If they can't help themselves to a season, then we should expect a fucking gigafuck season, right? It's just that so far they have not been helping themselves.
Because I believe that regularity is so much more important than them getting carried away with a season. And something like season 3 doesn't feel like they got carried away with it, frankly.
No.
So don't do that. Not for the next one, at least. At the same time, the anniversary being a bit later than usual, I don't know how that makes me feel. Necessarily.
I'm going to be honest. A little theory I have, which I don't think I believe in, but I do believe there is like a percent chance, like 1 to 2 to maybe 5% chance that they are going to shadow drop a season, like almost like fucking like out of the gate, like because they are hyping up to like they're just hyping themselves up and like everyone up at this point. Like it's kind of going hard, and they don't really need like teasers, maybe or maybe not. I don't know. Like very, very, very low chance. But like I don't know, they're really fucking hyping everything up. Either that, or I think we could definitely expect is if the stream occurs during the anniversary event, which would be a beginning of March or around March. I think we could expect the beginning of teaser season. Right? Like if that's about a month within like 2 extra weeks thing, that would end up in what, March, April, May. It would be in May, right? And I think that's where we're going to be looking at for a season. So yeah, I think whatever occurs, they're up to something. Is what they're implying at the very least.
Something. I get that bit, and it feels like they've been up to a lot. Like considering the DLC that sort of got like cheekily, it was sneakily leaked, got sneaked, and things like that and DRG Legacy, and I think just the amount of the anniversary. They've been sneaky. I think they're up to. I think they've been doing things. I don't like it.
Yeah. But like the amount of things we know that they've been doing, it's hard to picture them doing other things.
They've done a lot more than what we know of now means they've been doing it. Or they've done a lot more than we thought they've been doing.
We thought they'd only been doing
DRG Legacy,
doing the holiday stuff, but then they've been doing fucking DRG Legacy. But then it makes me think that if they've been doing that, then how could they be doing anything more? But maybe they are.
Maybe they're already doing more than we thought.
I mean, do you even know how big their team is at this point in time? You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so.
Like, they might be dripping with the workforce.
That's where all the 343 employees went after the layoff.
Oh god.
Halo's dead. It's dead.
It's actually not though, but it obviously is. But
they
like,
want to try and turn it. They want to try and go in a new direction. Apparently more multiplayer focused.
Well, yeah, because their entire fucking campaign team got fired. Like everyone really that was in charge of that.
Really?
Got the boot.
I don't understand. Hey, who's in charge of this? Is it Phil Spencer? I like Phil. I don't want to insult him, but he's an idiot. I mean, I guess maybe they made money from Halo Infinite. That's it, I guess. But that campaign was not badly received. But the game overall was seen as a fucking dumpster fire. And yet, it's like, no. We're not going to do the thing that we actually did okay on. We're going to chase the multiplayer down, and we're going to do a battle royale really late. We're going to do a battle.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that
the Unreal Engine, which doesn't work for Halo.
Yeah. Is that actually what they're doing? They're changing engine.
Oh god.
Fucking hell, they can't even afford their own. It's so fucking garbage. It's so unusable, I imagine. Yeah, and it's just the fact that, you know, I think I know the fella in charge of 343. He had to like come out and say, "We are still going to work on Halo. Like we are still have many stories to tell," which is ironic considering they probably won't do that.
No, they won't. Don't worry. The Halo TV show.
Oh yeah.
All I'm saying is, Ghost Ship, I apologise.
Yeah. Also,
if
you are hiring, there is a lot of, I imagine, extraordinarily qualified people in the market right now.
Yeah, those 343 employees, those programs are probably some of the best there is, actually, when you think about it. With the shit that they had to get through, with the fucking, not just the engine, but all the stuff, all the systems that were made by third-party contractors who are no longer there. They're like working inside of systems they had no hand in creating. Those guys can probably do some good work for you.
Yeah, not to mention, you know, as mentioned, the designers and the like storytellers. Like, if they just wanted to hire like someone from that,
hire the 343, hire the entire campaign team and have them make a single player or campaign. Although they can't. I mean, I know the Ghost Ship doesn't have the money for that, but or maybe I don't know. I mean, they're still having to pay out DLCs, but you know. What has that acquisition really done for them?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is I don't know. I can't. If Ghost Ship does not have enough money, then something is wrong with the industry, right? Because it is selling. It's got sold 5.5 million copies, right? Like that's like a given. It's got that many people within it. And then I imagine probably not that. Well, it had amount of people that bought the DLC, right? And that was like something or other million, wasn't it? Like DLC bought. Yeah. So they have probably gotten shite tons of money. And if they can't sustain on that, then that's something wrong with the industry. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is a very interesting time for. All time is, other than nearing the about the middle of season 2, is an interesting time for Deep Rock Galactic, because we have no fucking clue what's going to come next. And
yeah, I mean, we are solidly 3 months. Well, yeah, just tomorrow, solidly 3 months in to season 3.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be looking at like, you know, within their 4 to 6 margin, we could be looking at teasers from tomorrow onward. That
from
is,
tomorrow.
yeah, well, that is a reasonable thing, right?
Well, yeah.
4 to 6 months. We get teasers for about a month beforehand. So I think it's a reasonable thing that we can expect to see teasers like really soon now. Except no. Because
Well, they said there'll be
damn
more.
well that it ain't.
There'll just be more information before the anniversary. Like, implying like multiple. What did it say?
Multiple,
there'll be a couple
pods.
more supply pods of information. There'll be multiple cases of them revealing new information. It's like, how much can they really? How much needs to be revealed about the anniversary across multiple more?
Well, we haven't seen the hat,
news pieces,
the decorations. So there's like at least that, right? The actual description of the anniversary. We haven't gotten that yet. Like, the assignment, what that is going to be about. So that's one at least. Maybe the official Legacy launch post. That might be something.
Or something about that.
The stream release date. When the day they're doing a stream.
Okay,
so there are plenty of things.
All right, I was going to say, roadmap. Because only because, right? If our thinking is right that in the anniversary stream they'll do what they did last time and reveal what the next season is, the roadmap would be somewhat redundant if it's not going beyond next season. So,
well, they did it the same in season 4, season 2, right? For season 2, they gave us a roadmap and the title at the same time.
No,
didn't they?
I don't know.
When did they give the roadmap for that one then?
I don't know anymore.
But the point is that it's about as confirmed as we're gonna get that we're gonna get the roadmap on the anniversary stream. As in when someone asked for like roadmap or like
season
news.
2 roadmap was long before. That was the whole point, and it didn't have the title in it at all. It was just confirming that it was going to happen, and the secondary weapons. I just mean like if the anniversary stream is going to tell us a lot about season 4, then a roadmap at the same time won't be that important if it doesn't go beyond season 4. So I feel like roadmap coming up before it still wouldn't change much, but
it's not happening.
This would be separate. What?
In the dev stream, someone asked when can we expect to see news in season 4, and they said probably the anniversary video.
When was that though? Because that was a while ago now, and they might not have known that the anniversary was going to. They might not have known when the anniversary was going to be at that point because it is a different time.
The reason why the anniversary is later is because of that.
You're a big thinker. I like it.
Point is, we have no idea what's going behind their thing. We have literally
what's going behind their thing.
We try and figure out them and what they're up to, and it just doesn't work because there's no way. We had no fucking clue they were doing a legacy thing at the same time as all this.
With your game.
Like it's just we have no idea what we're going on about, but we're just trying to figure it out at this point. Which is why I don't know. I mean. Yeah, fuck. Thank you all for watching. I think we're done here.
I heard that seagull.
You heard the seagull?
I fucking hate seagulls. Don't.
Yeah, whatever. I don't really.
Pity on them.
Is it because you threw a bag at them and it crushed it?
Yeah. Maybe.
That was fucking hilarious. We were all just throwing bags at seagulls because we're cool kids. And this was when we were kids.
No, this was the other day.
just yesterday. And they were all missing up a fucking storm. Like, couldn't hit one for their lives. And you just throw one bag. We peer pressure you into throwing one bag at her, and you fucking hit it dead on.
Crush it against the ground.
Yeah.
I didn't like
I realise it's a really bad story that we were abusing animals. But in all fairness, seagulls are flying rats. And we were also children.
When people stole my shoes.
No.
And I flailed.
Oh right, yeah, your hat. your Harry defense strategy where you go on the floor and you start fucking kicking. Like you just flail your legs around. Anyone that gets near gets a fucking foot in their cock. It worked. We gave it to you. It worked. We never went for you because we know it just not work. Because you retaliate in extraordinary measure.
I'm saying those children fucking suck. They're horrible.
Yeah. It's the puberty
People
again.
don't do that. So children aren't people. That's what the conclusion I've come to. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.